Welcome to Talk About Scary, the show where we do just that. I'm Clay. Adam's probably here somewhere too.
I'm Adam. Yeah, what's up, guys?
What's up? What's up? We got a special guest today. No one special though, someone who's been on the show a handful of times. But this time, she's on video. My sister, Ashley.
Hello.
Ooh,
welcome.
What's up, Ash?
Welcome.
Hi. I am special.
Yeah, whatever. What are we talking about today, guys?
Well, it is a subject that is near and dear to all of our hearts. It's captured the American curiosity, the imagination, if you will.
It's a pretty good assumption to assume I have a heart.
Well, you don't. I'm saying the average American has a heart, and this one is about the death. Yes, that's what we do, and also whales.
I was going to say they have souls.
They have souls and a heart. They do. And this one is the death of Elisa. Elisa?
I think it's Elisa.
Lam.
I thought it was
Elisa. Let's do Elisa Lam.
Elisa?
I feel like we should get it right, but I feel like it's Elisa. Elisa?
Elisa Lam.
Yeah.
Let's do the death of Elisa Lam. Let's
Elisa Lam.
You heard it here first, folks. We're doing it right.
Well, I don't know about that. People probably heard it first somewhere else. I know it's been covered on a lot of shows. There's a Netflix documentary about what happened, and this was a very well-covered mysterious incident, I guess we'll call it, because that's what it is.
It is. It's very mysterious. Very. Do you want to start telling us about how mysterious it is and what happened, Clay, or do you want me just to lead in, or who's starting?
I can start.
It's like double Dutch. I don't even know where to start.
I've never been able to get in. I see people do that, and I'm like, no, it's not possible. I'm seeing both ropes at the same time. While one's down, the other's up. You can't just go in there. But anyway.
You got to get your rhythm started. Get your rhythm started, and you got to kind of start moving, and then you got to just start jumping in and out, and then that's it. That's all you have to do is start jumping in and out.
Are you
are
you doing it right now? Like, it sounded like you were exercising for a second.
I was. That's why I'm out of breath now.
Anyway, she was 21 years old, and she was on a trip, I believe, and she was staying in Los Angeles at the Cecil Hotel.
The Cecil, the infamous Cecil Hotel.
Was a bad call.
Go and try their heroin. I hear it's amazing. Okay, continue.
Wow.
A lot of heroin going on there, and I won't talk. I digress.
I don't think anymore, but
she I believe she stayed there for 4 days. She had a 4-day trip planned, and she was supposed to be checking out on January 31st, and she was reported missing by her parents on February 1st. And that was kind of that for a couple of weeks. And then her body was found. And there's more to the story, but that's kind of like the premise. I'm just, in a nutshell.
Oh,
I'm nutshelling this.
You're nutshelling it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can get more details if you want. I just figured nutshells are the way to go, unless you're allergic to peanuts.
Like you said, people have heard this story before, and they are just listening or watching to listen and look at your sister's beautiful, beautiful faces. So I'll just shut up and let you keep talking.
Sure. I mean, Ashley, feel free to chime in with any details that you want to discuss, or if I'm leaving something out, but...
Well, I mean, I think the real discussion is just, you just gave us a synopsis, but everyone wants to know, our opinion of what really happened. I mean, there's so many theories of what happened. But
talk about conspiracy.
Yep.
Right? Well, obviously, I'll kind of wrap it up, the synopsis, if you will. Like you said, her body was found in a water tank on the roof that only employees are supposed to have access to. And the only reason she was even found was because other people staying at the hotel started complaining that the water tasted funny and it was discolored even. So, you know, they went up there and started looking into it and saw one of the lids was like a little bit ajar. Can a lid be ajar?
That's the thing that's questionable too, because there's, like, from what I've seen and read, there's different reports. Like, it was closed, and then the guy says, oh, it was open. So I feel like a lot of people think that makes a difference on whether she got in there herself or somebody put her in there.
Yeah, it's supposed to be closed and locked, but there's so much, you know, like, there's a lot of things that happened right before this, like, I mean, people said she had a bipolar disorder, right? Mm-hmm. Her parents have admitted to that too. But, like, she was... Like,
well, she was taking medication for it as well. Like,
yeah,
it's confirmed that she had a mental disorder.
Now.
That's true,
yeah, but I guess the point is that they wouldn't have let her go on a trip anywhere if she wasn't managing her disorder, right? It's kind of part and parcel of having mental illness, you know, like, your family gets to watch you, and it seems like her parents really cared for her a great deal. And,
well, but remember, she was 21.
Day, right?
It's not like she was a little kid. She was 21, and this was actually like, she was attending college. I don't remember exactly where she went. Look it up yourselves. But I know that it's not like she just lived sheltered at home and her parents were like taking care of her. I don't know what degree.
No, but they reported her missing after one day, right? I mean, so that shows that they cared for her.
She, I guess, had an arrangement with her parents while she was on this trip. She was going to check in with them every day. They were going to talk every day. So I get what you're saying, but at the same time, it's not like they could have really stopped her.
Well, and it sounds like she was pretty manic, like, her last few days alive, and so maybe they didn't even really have contact those last few days, and that's what prompted it, because obviously from the videos and the reports of, like, the people that shared her room at the hotel, like, she was not behaving normally, which kind of lines up with what her sister was saying about her disorder. Like, she was either, if she was having an episode, super depressed or super manic, and it kind of matches, like, that manic behavior.
Right, well, let's quickly talk about, before we fully get into theories and our opinions about it, let's talk about the big elephant in the room that we've mentioned a couple of times but haven't really dove into. The big part of this is the surveillance video in the elevator. That's what I remember seeing when this incident happened, was everyone being like, what the heck is she doing? She's acting crazy. She's making weird, like, hand motions, and she's, like, in the elevator and, like, sneaks out like she's looking down the hall for people, but you never see anybody else in the video. It's just her. She presses, like, all the buttons, and
like she's hiding from somebody.
Right, but you never see anyone. You never see anybody. The footage is a little bit blurry, but people seem to claim that it looks like she's shouting at one point, like, down the hall, like she's maybe talking to someone, but it's hard to tell. But anyway, her behavior definitely suggests, some mental illness, and maybe her bipolar disorder was acting up, or a lot of people even claim that she was maybe on drugs. I mean, she was in a bad part of town, alone, and you just never know what's going on. But definitely look up the video if you've not seen it. I'm sure most people, if you're watching this, probably have.
And that's the thing, I think without this video, like, we may not have even heard of this mainstream, but because that video was released, people are like, that's not normal.
Yeah. I mean, the video itself, as I'm watching it as we're talking, because it's everywhere. It's
You've never seen it?
No, I'm just kidding. Video. No, I've watched it, but it's been a while, right? It's been a while, and so I'm gonna watch it again. And yeah, she could be having a psychotic episode, but here's the thing: is that she definitely looks like she's hiding from somebody, either imaginary or real. But the thing is she wound up dead in a water tower, so chances are she was hiding from somebody, right? Or in popular culture and urban myths now, something like they said that she's playing a game as an elevator game where something bad happens. If anybody wants to elaborate on that more than just me, if you
I read something about that, but it was like you have to go like 10 floors, and it's like summoning ghosts or people that have died there, which would be obviously a common thing at the Cecil Hotel. But I don't know that that's what she was doing.
It's like a Ouija Vader.
When I first watched it,
doesn't make a lot of sense because she wasn't deprived of money, college student or not. She would have had plenty of cash not to stay at some place as cheap as the Cecil Hotel. I think at the time it was like 21 or 26 bucks a night or something like that.
Yeah.
It's where a homeless flopped.
It's literally on Skid Row.
Yeah, it reeks of feces. You can smell the meth cooking from a mile away. I've been there. I've not to stay there, but I've been around there. So,
well, I know that the hotel is like kind of infamous for things that have happened there, and it's not a great place to be. But here's the thing, like my question about this whole incident is this was 2013, so we're only talking about 10 years ago. I guess 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's 10 years.
This is the only footage. You really think a hotel, and I get it that it's a trashy hotel, no offense, Cecil, it's a trashy hotel, but they don't have any other security footage. Nothing down a hallway, nothing exterior. I mean, she had to somehow get outside. You know, she had to go up the roof, even if someone did something to her. It's just weird that the only footage we get is the inside of an elevator. And some people even claim that it looks like the elevator footage is edited. Like there was more to it, but it was cut out.
Yeah,
bits and pieces.
The timestamp is blurred.
Right. So why would they blur the timestamp if you're going to release evidence, hard evidence that something happened, that she was that's her, she's in the elevator, she's acting funny, look, but you're going to blur the timestamp? How are we supposed to know when that actually was? What if that was her first day there? How are we supposed to argue that?
Yep, it's true. But she used to have she had a diary too. One of the journals she had was full of a lot of spooky, weird stuff. So it kind of makes me believe the fact that she might have been trying to summon some sort of
demon,
supernatural thing in the elevator.
She was also very active online. I can't think of what the website is. It's not as popular anymore, I don't think, but literally she blogged like every day. I can't.
Blog.org.
Tumblr. A Tumblr. She had a Tumblr. I think is what it's called.
Tumblr.
I don't know. There's so many things. Originally, like when I watched the footage and all that, I'm like, she's on drugs. Like she's clearly on drugs. Like the way her hands are. I'm like, but then the toxology, whatever it's called, report came back.
Toxicologist.
No drugs in her system, besides the ones she's barely taking for her bipolarness. So.
Right. I think I saw that there was like very small traces of like ibuprofen and stuff like that, but. Yeah, but like nothing out of the ordinary. But here's the thing too, and like I'm not like a professional, so you know I don't take this with a grain of salt. I don't know everything. But if they didn't find her body for a couple of weeks, I don't know how long stuff like that will like resonate in your system. I have no idea. But you would think that to some degree it would dilute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who knows? Someone could have given her something that. I mean, there are medicines. We've talked about various drugs. We just don't give names. And, you know, Adam's said different things before. But there are things that you can give to people that don't show up or disappear very quickly in, like, your blood. There are ways to kill people or mess people up and kind of get away with it, in essence. So who knows who she was hanging out with, what was going on. I wish there was more hard evidence, but
the thing that I get stuck on,
go ahead, Ashley,
is okay, someone was messing with her. There was a real human being outside of the elevator, whatever. This was all real. Someone drugged her, someone killed her, whatever. How did they get her up there? Like, if you watch the Netflix documentary, I cannot remember what it's called. I think it's called like The Vanishing or Vanished or something at Cecil Hotel. If you watch it, they kind of go up there and show everything. Like, I'm pretty confident she or whoever had her went out the fire escape and then would have had to walk across like these like sketchy like poles on the roof. Like, it's not easy to access. How could you do that carrying a
Right,
body?
well, and her parents actually tried to sue the hotel or press charges, and I just scrolled away from where my notes were because I was going to actually give the name of the Netflix special, which is Crime Scene: The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel. And there's also a special Ghost Adventures episode on Discovery Plus. It's a 2-hour special that covered the death. So I moved away from my notes. I think her name was Amy something. I might scroll back and try to find it. Yeah, the manager, her name was Amy, and she went on trial and talked about everything, and they ended up dropping the charges because where they found her body, you had to have like employee access, like keys and all this stuff. So yeah, you're right. How could someone have done it? The only way I could see it feasible is if it was someone who worked there. But again, I kind of raise my eyebrow and say, why is there no footage? Why don't you have any kind of even just a surveillance video at the door? I feel like that's very common, even for only 10 years ago. Like, that's not that long.
Especially
Everywhere
in
has
the
video.
area you're in. Like, you would need surveillance. But
right, unless you just straight up don't care.
I think, like, in our head, we're like, oh my gosh, they're in such a bad area. They must be so protected and have so much surveillance. I think it was truly, like, the opposite, because in that Netflix special, Amy is, like, interviewed a ton. And she's like, what would we have done? Called the police? Like, they wouldn't have come. Which I guess is just, like, a thing in that area. I don't know. So...
It's not like they wouldn't come. It's just there's a lot of crime there, and there's only so many police.
Yeah.
I'm not one to just defend blindly the LAPD over their tremendously amazing track record, guys. Awesome. But not every cop in LA is bad, and for the most part, they're doing their best to do what they can. And it is a crime-ridden area. Things have gotten a lot better with gentrification in the last 10 years, obviously, and that's not to be a proponent for gentrification. I am not, but things have gotten less dangerous over time. And the Cecil Hotel, they have tried to change the narrative and what's going on around there, and they've been doing that successfully. It's unfortunate. This is the publicity they needed to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's not a lot of evidence. I mean, so there's the one. I don't believe that there is no other footage of her. There was going to be footage of her like coming up to the front desk. There's always cameras on the front desk because they want to make sure people aren't stealing their money.
Exactly.
There's going to be other places where there's still footage of her.
But they should have released that just to even compare her mental state to when she came in to that.
But they obviously released that footage knowing how she was going to be perceived, because I think that's what they wanted. I mean, I hate to say it, but that's what they wanted her to look like. She was having an episode. She was crazy, something. Oh, it makes sense now. She climbed up there herself somehow, and in her drug-ridden mind, slipped in and drowned. Something like that. And
they also have drug addicts there all the time. That's where they live. So I'm sure they were just thinking, we'll just treat this the same way we treat everything.
Yeah. Also, no shade to police officers. I'm married to one, so I just meant, they probably have so many issues. It sadly would not have been a big deal. Like, literally, the Night Stalker stayed there while he was killing everybody. Unfortunately, it's just crime and drug ridden.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I guess that's what I was trying to get across to.
Yeah.
Also, quick note, congratulations on the wedding, by the way. Last time you were on the show, you were not married. So.
Yes, he's a dreamboat, by the way. If you guys haven't seen the pictures, go to Ashley's Instagram. Gorgeous man.
Ashley Moffatt 5.
It'll be in the notes.
Go to her Instagram. Look at those pictures.
It'll
be in the show notes for sure. Yeah, he's doing God's work.
Before we wrap up this episode, though, I do want to touch on something that Ashley mentioned earlier, but we didn't really go into detail, was that she was acting weird at, various places throughout her stay, and when she first got to the hotel, and she had issues with her roommates and had to eventually get her own room because there was some complaints, but also she actually attended a live taping of Conan. and was escorted off the premises by security due to disruptive behavior. Wow, I can read, everyone.
Well, Conan can do that. Conan can do that to people. He's suspicious in his own right. So.
Well, but I'm just saying that
but it seems very out of character for how her family's like describing her.
Right, but she gets kicked out of the show. She has issues with roommates because she initially took like a hostel style room at the Cecil and had like 5 other roommates or something like that, and they complained about her and they had to move her to a separate room for like the last day she was there or whatever. So I'm just saying some things are lining up with maybe she had gone off of her medication or wasn't taking enough of it, stuff like that. But I just think that the whole situation is kind of interesting to look at from a standpoint of not just an isolated elevator craziness incident. There's more.
I did remember seeing or hearing something, it might have been from the Netflix series or whatever, but her sister had said, like, in the past when she would have these manic episodes, she would look for like a quiet place to hide. And so I don't know, it's so far-fetched, but I don't know, maybe she went to the roof as like a quiet place to hide. I don't know. Like, my question is,
get there?
But that's the thing, a lot of things line up. Okay, she is bipolar, she's not taking her meds, she's having a manic episode, all the footage lines up with that. It's still like such a question of that, and then her getting on the roof and in the water tank.
Yeah, no matter how much of a psychological break you have, you don't generally, that doesn't generally get you stuffed into a locked water tank.
Yeah,
so,
and
there's that.
When they found her, they said something like she was on her back floating, which normally...
Yeah, she was face up.
It would be the other way had there been like foul play. I don't know. And the latch was closed, so
the tank had to be drained, and they had to cut it open because the hatch was too small to get her body out with the equipment that they needed. So I'm like, it was so small. Like, there's just so many questions about how she got in there. Like, forget everything else. Like, what I want to know is how she got in there.
And can one close the like lid behind them, or I don't know.
Or was it even closed? There's so many differing reports. It's just...
We will literally never know.
The world will never know. Just like how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? According to Owls, 3. Yeah. But we'll never know. And I didn't ever try it. I didn't ever get to 805.
There you go. I'll never do it either. We are running out of time, kids.
We are. I'm an adult, though. So we'll go ahead and wrap this up, but we hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and keep watching the show, keep watching our videos, listen to our podcast. It's everywhere. Thank you, Ashley, for joining us and talking about Elisa Lam.
Elisa Lam.
And the Cecil Hotel.
Creep it real.
You got it. Creep it real, guys.
Thank
Peace
you.
Out.
I swear it's Elisha. It's Elisha.
No, there's literally no IA at the end. You can't just make Elisha.
I gotta turn this off. I'm gonna stop recording right now.
It says H on mine.
I'm gonna stop right now.